Like boss bitch for sure. Shit, y'all read the title. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into it. 'Cause, I'll be I'll be creating on my content as that's not life. Live. I'll be doing it live. I'm not reading off of anything or I ain't got nothing scripted or anything. But you know, that's just I guess you could say another another way of how you could do something. Just freestyle it. You know what I mean? Whatever comes to your mind as you're doing it. If you have trust in yourself, then you'll you'll put it out. You'll release whatever it is that's on your mind in a proper manner way of it being conducted. Because it's certain things. You just be doing in the world. So when it comes to generating uh ideas or thoughts that lead you into prosperous actions, it ain't too hard. You just gotta have that sharpness that about yourself of okay, well, whatever this idea is, you gotta cherish. You gotta really put you all into that that energy, that those thoughts and feelings. If you wanna if you wanna get help, but if you want that idea to get reciprocated by others, you gotta, because it good or bad ideas are gonna get reciprocated in the world. It's just about what kind of world we're creating simultaneously, all as one. You know. So when I hop in the world, like when I hop on live, it's like my turn to. Or it's when I choose to, put my craft out there, put a piece of my mind out there. You know. But everybody do things their way. Uh, so just find your footprints on on the sand. You know what I mean? So you can pick up wherever you left off previously. You know what I'm saying? Previously faced. Uh, so you know when it comes into this generating thoughts, which is what you're doing all day, it's just about what mentalities you're in. You know what spaces you be in or flying through. So it's not something that you can't learn, because every day you're learning. So it's people are always gonna create like try to fog you, even on the daily. You're doing something good. You know, and someone just coming, because they some people feed off. Trying to creating distractions for the world, and or just being just being in the world, not doing anything to change anything necessarily. So you know, like that's not illegal. You know what I'm saying? You can't really get in trouble for. It's kind of illegal. Like for yourself. That's how you end up with certain illnesses and certain men- you know that's the because you're always creating your mentality. No, I ain't in Texas. I'll be going some everywhere someday, but it first starts in the mind. Why are you going anywhere in the first place when you can't even do whatever you're doing where you at? you know but that's for another video. It's for you know yup. We we in high spirits right now. Yeah. So not not too high, too, not too high, not too low, just right. You gotta, sometimes you can go a little bit above you, over yourself, or and it plays out as it's always gonna be someone who can do something that better than you in some way, shape, or form. Duh, obviously, but just you gotta find what you're good at. You gotta find what you're good at planning, what you're good at growing. You know, not everybody good at growing the same fruit. You house tour. All houses kind of look the same. Dimensions and shit. I'll do that some other time. Need to tell me what you saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm breaking down certain mental structures of the daily human mind, of what it could possibly go through, and just skipping all the other bullshit out. Getting all the bullshit out the way, and getting straight to the core, straight to the essence, to the point of what makes everything in the first place, what creates everything in the first place, which is us right now, being right here. You know, um, and you being in the moment, you understanding, you're having some type of understanding about yourself. So when you understand that you overstand and all that, that you're not you're not your thoughts, you're just having, you know what I'm saying, you're having these emotions, these thoughts, these ideas, but what do they lead to? What are these what are these actions leading you to? What do they, based on previous experiences or things of that type of nature, having a better know-how of how certain actions can lead you down certain paths that you don't want to walk through or go through. So in order to prevent future future possibilities, box. What do you mean? Just I already got. I ain't gonna hold y'all though. I already got the hardest anchoring idea of how to not go nowhere. How to, like, once you fix yourself in something, build yourself in that type of way. So everything you do, no matter what, like, but yeah, but yeah. So just your actions, you know, your actions speak for themselves. Whatever mentality you in, it's what your body. Man, what you mean, man? I'm this. I already got a certain structure set up for that. So I can't be even playing a little. If I was to listen to everything that someone tells me, I would just be like a monkey, like a circus monkey. You know what I mean? Like they get fucking treat and that, and they get excited. And that ain't really how I'm looking at things. So if I don't do something that one of y'all is requesting, or bear with me, like I'm explaining, like, cause you know. But let me move on though. So just yeah, no, you gotta you gotta want certain things. Not want like how in the world you, because you could want, be to be smarter or be wiser, but that's, you got to go through experiences for that, you know and enough to know that, look at this red J, man, that you can't go around and telling people, you can't really go around tell you in your mind already, people being, that's lucky, like a little bit narc too, like people don't want to, people want to go around and tell other people things all day long, but they don't want to hear anything themselves, like So with everything, you gotta have a balance of understanding different sides to a situation. Primary. What do you mean the primary? Every year my primary. No, I'm bullshitting. But it's just what you make it. It's what you make out of all of this, all out of all this water. It's what earth you derive out of it. As our cycle. Tiamat May Tiamat Maya Tiamat, what is it called? Tiamat Gaia Earth or whatever they see. It's just they got hella names for the same thing. But you know, pointing to the same thing. So whenever you just structure your mind to take certain actions, you you got a easy grip. Like what, like the shit I be just giving, you know. And I ain't saying I be getting out here like, but I do be giving out a whole bunch, you know. So I know where I stand. Even if I be in situations of I might not see something fully all the way, but just putting yourself in. So why you live streaming? Why am I live streaming, bro? Because there's a title. And it's a point trying to be reached of talking about a specific certain information, knowledge for I am not looked as a dummy or a goofy or someone that's just playing around with their life. I want it to look like my life is being put to work, put to a certain type of task. That's not just because being around, sitting around, just being a what I'm gonna just say what, and because y'all got all these already what they got, like just like a non-playing character, bro. Like not even that because you could do see it's worlds, man, and I don't want to get nobody lost and confused because I wouldn't want to get myself lost and confused. So that's why to keep myself on point, keep myself on track. So if I ain't responsible for myself, nobody gonna come and tap me in the shoulder, tell me, hey child, hey kid, it's alright. Hey not even kid, hey bro, hey man, it's alright. Nobody gonna come. Ain't nobody from I already know, and I know not to expect it from nobody. I already know not to expect a damn thing from a damn soul. Not in the way that you may think about it. Not in the way that you may think about it. You know? But yeah, It's just a way to keep your mind in your heaven or hell, whatever you're making it. But once you get to adding thoughts and feelings to wherever you're going, wherever space you're going, if you're walking into situations with a certain mentality, with already an expectation or something, you're not allowing yourself to be open enough to full experiences sometimes because you're already walking into. Sometimes you got to go off having nothing like premeditate, nothing in mind already. You just got to know how to, and at the same, and vice versa, you got to also know how to do that. Do know when to scope something out whenever if you want to develop that, because that's also like a capability or ability, for you to know how to sit back, look at a drawing. It's like and that's how even boards even get created, because you sitting somewhere in your mind, like scoping something out, you know, making certain points, and you know, and when something's fully round, fully, it makes complete sense because you got all corners of a situation. It's you got the full uh full complete thought of of this type of thoughts lead to this type of outcome. And if you just carry this energy with you in any way, shape, or form, it'll help you throughout your day and things of that nature. So even when you're not, it's just certain sigil and certain rituals and spells that whenever you learn to do certain practices, you don't have to carry too many, like even put it too heavy on physical objects or things of that nature. But you know, your your mind will just be structured to move your 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 shin, or your forearm, or whatever, a certain type of way whenever some specific thing happens. It was like you programmed already, like you already programmed it before, because you are programming everything. And that's another video too. So no, but whenever you program, you got to generate certain thoughts, certain ideas, certain. And if it is the most fruitful, the most high hanging fruit type of deal, then it will show within the world. Maybe not in numbers or in how y'all are thinking about it, or the way Walt Disney type of, or all these things. There ain't nothing wrong with not that either. It's just that served its period of time. So you gotta know what you're looking at. And you're not look. Sometimes it ain't much you're looking at. Sometimes it's just you're here, and you have to know how to create some out of yourself. Have to know how to have it, not lose it. You know. Uh, for sure. Yeah, anything you do with shout out to Jeremy. Anyways, you know, man, I ain't gonna do it. You know, so I understand. Even if you don't, you know, you're not gonna, you're not gonna have all thoughts right there and then. You know what I'm saying? No matter where you, no matter who you are, you gotta, you gotta move in that energy of whether you know how to do something or not. If you're trying to, you know, get the thought and feeling and ideas of how to move in a certain kind or go for things in a certain kind of, and you have no clue how to go about it, always just hop in the now, no matter what situation you're. If you ever, that's how you know you don't ever get writer's block. You don't ever feel stuck in no thought and no day and no pattern and no none of that. But whenever you know how to, yeah, yeah, like I was, but yeah, you know, you just sitting in certain mentalities that ain't a mentality yet, because you gotta sit in that space of without a mind, without a cloth over you. You know what I mean? So like your mind is completely clueless of how to act or react to whatever new situation you're in, or and that's the best space you can be in. To that's your most creative space when you're in that space. Of creating your your spaceship helps out others. The more you're aligned with yourself, the more others can be aligned. The more everybody finds their daily whatever their daily whatever makes their day up, they'll find it, and they won't be trying to either take it from you, because they'll never be able to take something from you that they can't even touch. First off, it's not something that's physical, so it just looks like others may do things in the way that it's supposed to be done. So if you're leading by example, you already by default doing the highest uh amount of energy work, whether on yourself, more infinitely on yourself, because that's who you're working on the most every day, whether you like it or not. But you have to, whether you like yourself or not. You know what I'm saying? So, but regardless, your mind always gotta stay sharp. You always gotta know how to pick up as you're going, how to pick up at every instant, no matter if you get knocked off, fuck out. You know what I mean? You gotta know how to come back to your, you know, to whatever you got going on. You know, you don't what was I gonna say? You don't do it, nobody else will. I'm saying so. How to, you know, but regardless, saying you're saying so, and that's how you're generating. Because I'll tell you, that's really what I'm always doing. Whenever, especially whenever, like I'll be doing it secondhand nature. So that's kind of like my thoughts, my regular, not regular. Cause ain't nothing about it regular. Ain't nothing about me regular. I'm saying, so, saying just the fact that you know you might just see me in the world, but in a certain, well, that's just based upon the moment. You always gonna see me in the world. So it was gonna see, as long as you're here, as long as you're in this ves- uh vehicle, saying you're here, saying so we're all here. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring everybody to the water, saying, but I can show you how to make a cup all day long, but I can't make a cup for y'all. You know what I mean? So, but that just takes time, really. That's all we have here. That's all. That's really all you got. So it's about how you involve yourself, how you know whatever you're involving yourself in, evolving and evolving. And, but but everybody doing what they can. Everybody doing what they can to get through these times, man. Mm, One thing's for sure, that whatever because it's just clear things that are clear, clearer than day. It's just things in the world that are crystal clear. That if you do, you might die, and then there's other things that if you do, you're also gonna die, but not as not as fast or as bad, you know. So so it's about how you execute certain things. But you know, every day you get to try this shit again. You know what I mean? But yeah, so too, sometimes you know your power. You know, sometimes you can't give motherfuckers too much. You can't give somebody an inch because they'll take a mile, and that's if you know your energy. You get somebody that you in your mind it wasn't a lot. It's not a lot, because who you are and you are all day long. Who you are, you all day long. So to yourself, you're not no big of a, you know what I'm saying. But whenever someone else is looking at it from a different angle, from a different star system and constellation, man, you sh- you better know where you are, and if you don't know, it's everything's showing us right now. And there's just times that there's emphasis in certain things in the sky that are teaching certain tasks at for certain periods. That's if you're more deep into spirituality. I mean, into spirituality, you already there. But if you're more deep into the astrology, which is just everything, everything that comes back around, everything that comes back in cycles and patterns and routines and patterns, like the Matrix, you know, just just you know, like the nature and trees and your nature and trees, just a different. You're still nature. So almost a bitch. And what that mean? I want to break it down because I don't even, to be honest, but that's just something that's just based because of things that I've heard myself. So, but I'm gonna break it down to myself too. So, you know, my my honest, uh, yeah, my honest guess most definitely be that karma is just attached to the to a water deity, you know, internal, yin, uh, feminine, uh, so, and things that from the past that could come back and, smack you or sting you or whatever, that's where I think that term of karma's a bitch is coming from. Uh, but correct me if I'm wrong, you know. But I'm sure that's that thought process of that specific idea. Yeah. So that'd just be the Venus sun. So all these are suns. Venus, Mars. It's just the sun through different spaces, different. So whenever the sun is in sun, the main star, it's in whatever you can receive, you can see with the vision. So, it could be. Yeah, it could be. Like everything in the world will always show you how any actions, any actions that are wicked or whatever, you're never gonna in your spirit, you're never really gonna be in peace. You're always gonna be a bothered spirit. Like you're a spirit that, like Loki, you're kind of hunted, like, because it is just you always hunting your own mind, always creating these very, very below low vibration. So, so you just gotta keep a keep an eye on these things. Aka your creations, your actions, your past. I'm saying that's actions. Whatever your passion you make passionate becomes your actions. Well, all religions tie they they all got something in common, you know. So if you can see through that little thing, you'll kind of it'll take you to through a different world, Y'all, y'all is creators, but if everybody's a creator, then everybody can't just be the one. You're the one for your own individual space and whatever you take up, however amount of space you take up, that's what you rule. That's what you know what I'm saying? It's your space. And it only way to make something broader or greater, more potent is by adding souls to that. By adding things that been on that same thought pattern, same. That's how everybody creates similar bodies, but not everybody got the same thoughts and feelings. Because there was a greater thought before it been then and created whatever spirit group or race you're in. But what separates everybody is density, is physicality. But what's put it, what puts everybody back in the same pocket in space is space itself. It's nothingness itself. That's what I said. Passions become reactions. And boys are not they see so we there's a God and they say teaching. It's a key word, teachings. It's all teaching you some. I guarantee whether we got a title over it or not, it's all got to helping you out with aligning your body in some way, shape, or form, so it can go through the daily cycle, the daily, uh, the day. You know, you turn and you going through these through the process of aging or whatever they call that, but how you do it, like everybody's gonna go through it obviously, but you can be in certain just how people, some people age crazy and some people stay looking a certain type of, some people don't even look like they be aging. So you know what I'm saying, it ain't got nothing to do with anything. They no, ain't no product, no nothing gonna change that. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying I just, you take it a little further, you kind of going against the grain. You know what I'm saying? That's never gonna feel good. That's never gonna feel good. You know? Said nice. I mean, what else? What? Cause I live in space time. You know, like where, you know, I ain't looking at it with these chakras or eyes, but at the same time I am. So you know what I mean? You gotta create too, cause if it's not somebody else to perceive the others, to perceive the others and create movement, and you know, then if there is no participation from your part, then nothing. It's like you're just sitting, you're sitting in hell, while not hell, but I mean, because you could just look like you're having the best time of your life and whatever, but it's a spiritual essence. I can't put into words all the time, you know. But I be doing the best that I can at that moment, at that period of time, you know, to gain uh, wisdom and understanding about everything in general. I'm saying, just you always want to be able to peep out all the things that you could learn from, that you could make some out of, instead of just wasting, letting it go to waste. Like somebody or someone or something sparks um sparks an idea in you, or a thought, a feel, whatever. I'm saying, because there is, other beings out there that are part of certain spiritual uh sigils are that by default. But if you're certain that are in a process of initiating them, well, because you always got to initiate yourself into anything, even don't get spooked out by words, because that all that means is just signing up, like another word for signing up. If you're that being, everybody is a being, everything, every bug, everything is doing that, just from its point point of view, you know. So everybody's just here creating sense. So however you go about that, hopefully it's not in a destructive towards where it's destroying our world, and because that's never good, because we live here, we together, it's one. Now whatever you do all the way across the world, it's like whatever you're doing across the room, or just saying, but so you believe that Jesus died for your sins and then got raised from the dead. If you are saved, you're on your way to heaven. They got everybody practicing that in some, like going to heaven in some. But yeah, back to my point. Cause you're always creating, generating, creating, um, things before, you're always in your mind, uh, but when you sync, you know, when you sync these up, when you're not afraid to do certain things anymore, you know, uh, but yeah, generating prosperous ideas, just being yourself. I've never seen that, just, like for real. So I never seen that not work in no world, in any world really. just being you, being yourself, or being in that space of finding more of you, you know, uh, that'll always put you in a space of, especially if you're part of my space, whatever space I'm from, because wherever space I'm from, it don't come with a bullshit energy, with a, coming into the world just to, just to follow along with the crowd, and what everybody just makes a something, uh, something that's pointless, but they make that a point for some reason. I never drop down into no world and start doing that. Whatever's already got momentum and attention in the world, I create new tensions, new tensions, so y'all can stop caring for old and outdated things that were never even a thing that was up to date, or a thing to do. That people, just humans, just made things up that, you know aren't even the main thing of why even to make a brain and stem here in this, if you're not gonna do anything with it. I never come with that type of mentality to no world. Yeah, man. Well, nah, I just have to move more accordingly than I was in the past, even though, you know, it truly don't play out positively to be doing things that, you know, you know, it's like, you know what I mean? But sometimes you don't always listen to that, and you know that, like, it's like, it's kind of worse whenever you know that. It's like, you only got so long before either blowing it all, or you could have really lost your life in anything you could really be doing, you know. But once you're part of something that's greater beyond what you even have to remind yourself sometimes that you're part of, sometimes, because you're choosing to make yourself a part of a strong bone in this motherfucker, in this world, a strong pillar, whether the pillar's there or not, something half the time, which is why you're here, is to be that itself, to create that itself, not to be that, to create that itself. And if anybody in any world ever does forget how to do that, you're that mind that knows how to always hop into existence with that type of mentality already, or knows how to, it's got a greater know-how. And that's something that you can take with you beyond this body, beyond this, you know what I mean? That's something you'll never be able to understand. So you'll never be able to forget. Not with these type of brains and organ and all that, but just that ability itself, always knowing how to make flux movement and flux. What do you call it? Just that self, the ability to make moves, waves, sounds, impacts. Knowing that you yourself are strong, but whenever there's more to the formula, it becomes that much more greater, that much more powerful. Going well, but yeah, so generating prosperous ideas. You can add on to it. But I just broke a couple things down. How it looked to me is just what I already be doing. Just put my put my put a piece of my time to a certain to a certain angle. Angling things for a certain amount of time. But we'll keep expanding on spiritual topics of this nature, and yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, shout out to all the smart people in the world, and you know, shit, that's the spiritually protected.